If failure hasn't broken you yet, it's not because you're weak, it's because it hasn't finished shaping you. That moment when everything collapses, when your confidence shakes and your plans fall apart, is not the end of your story. It is the exact point where it truly begins. Right there, in the silence after disappointment, life asks you a powerful question. Will you protect your ego, or will you build a mindset strong enough to win? Failure breaks the ego long before it builds the mind, and that is exactly why it becomes the gateway to the mindset winners need. Most people misunderstand failure because they see it only as loss, embarrassment, or proof that they are not good enough. But failure is not designed to destroy you. It is designed to strip away the fragile version of you that cannot survive pressure. Ego is comfortable. Ego wants applause without effort, success without struggle, and respect without patience. Failure walks into your life like an unexpected storm and rips that comfort apart. It humiliates you, exposes your weaknesses, and forces you to face the truth about yourself. That moment hurts deeply, but it is also the moment where real growth begins, because growth does not happen while the ego is still in control. Think about how the ego works. Ego convinces you that you already know enough, that you deserve results immediately, and that setbacks are unfair. Ego hates feedback. Ego avoids responsibility. When things go well, ego takes all the credit. When things go wrong, ego looks for excuses. Failure does not allow this behavior to continue. Failure is brutally honest. It shows you the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are. That gap is painful to see, but it is also incredibly valuable. Winners are not people who never fail. Winners are people who allow failure to shatter their ego so their mindset can be rebuilt on truth instead of illusion. Consider the story of Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time. Before the championships, the fame, and the legacy, he was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine the humiliation of being told you are not good enough, especially when you believe deep inside that you are meant for more. And the champion times and the cup of beamangers and that failure could have fed his ego with bitterness or excuses. Instead, it broke his ego and forced him to confront his weaknesses. He trained harder than anyone else. He practiced obsessively, not because he wanted praise, but because he wanted mastery. That early failure taught him humility, discipline, and resilience. It taught him that talent without work means nothing. His mindset was forged not in victory, but in rejection. Failure humbles you in a way success never can. Success can inflate your ego and make you careless. Failure reminds you that nothing is guaranteed. It pushes you to listen instead of talk, to learn instead of boast, and to prepare instead of assume. When the ego breaks, curiosity is born. You start asking better questions. What did I do wrong? What can I improve? What am I avoiding? This shift from defending yourself to improving yourself is the foundation of a winning mindset. Winners do not protect their pride, they protect their progress. Look at Thomas Edison, a man whose name is synonymous with invention and persistence. He famously failed thousands of times before successfully creating the light bulb. Each failure was not a reason to quit, but a lesson. He did not see those attempts as proof of his incompetence. He saw them as data. That mindset can only exist when ego is absent. An ego-driven person would have quit early, afraid of looking foolish. Edison allowed failure to teach him instead of define him. His mindset was not, I must look smart, but I must get this right. That distinction changes everything. Failure also builds emotional strength. When you experience it for the first time, it feels overwhelming. Your heart sinks, your confidence shakes, you question your worth. But when you survive it, something powerful happens. You realize that failure did not kill you. You are still standing. That realization builds courage. The next time you take a risk, the fear is still there, but it is quieter. You know pain is survivable. You know disappointment is temporary. Winners are not fearless. They are familiar with fear and no longer controlled by it. Failure gives you that familiarity. Think about a relatable story. Perhaps someone who started a small business with big dreams. They invested their savings, worked long nights, and imagined success. Then the business failed. Bills piled up. Friends questioned their decisions. Self-doubt crept in. In that moment, ego could say, I'm not cut out for this, or the system is against me. But if the ego breaks, a different voice emerges. That voice says, I need to understand what went wrong. That person starts learning about finances, marketing, and leadership. They build skills they never had before. When they try again, they are no longer driven by fantasy but by experience. Their mindset is sharper, calmer, and stronger. Failure turned them from a dreamer into a strategist. Failure also teaches patience, a trait every winner needs. Ego wants quick results. Ego compares your beginning to someone else's middle. Failure slows you down and forces you to respect the process. It teaches you that mastery takes time, repetition, and discomfort. When you fail repeatedly, you stop expecting instant success. You start focusing on consistency. You show up even when no one is watching. This patience compounds over time and becomes one of your greatest strengths. Winners understand that long-term growth matters more than short-term validation. Another powerful example is J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was rejected by multiple publishers. She was struggling financially, dealing with personal hardships, and facing constant rejection. Each no could have reinforced an ego-based belief that she was not talented enough. Instead, failure stripped away any illusion and left her with one question: do I believe in this story enough to keep going? That belief, tested through failure, became unbreakable. When success finally arrived, her mindset was grounded, resilient, and focused, not fragile or entitled. Failure also builds self-awareness. When everything is going well, it is easy to ignore your flaws. Failure puts a spotlight on them. It shows you where you lack discipline, preparation, or emotional control. This awareness is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Winners know themselves deeply. They know their triggers, their weaknesses, and their limits, and they work intentionally to improve them. Failure is often the first honest mirror you ever face. Emotionally, failure connects you to others. Ego isolates you by making you feel superior or ashamed. Failure reminds you that struggle is universal. When your ego breaks, empathy grows. You become more compassionate toward others because you understand pain and effort. This emotional intelligence is critical for leadership, teamwork, and influence. Winners are not just strong individuals, they know how to connect, inspire, and uplift others, and failure often teaches them how. Most importantly, failure shifts your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who must always win, you start seeing yourself as someone who learns. This identity is powerful because it makes you unstoppable. If winning is your only identity, failure destroys you. If learning is your identity, failure fuels you. Winners adopt this second identity. They walk into challenges knowing that even if they lose, they gain something valuable. To take action, you must stop avoiding failure and start using it. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to blame or hide. Sit with the discomfort. Ask yourself what this experience is trying to teach you. Write down the lessons. Apply them deliberately. Take responsibility without self-hate. This balance is where growth happens. Let failure humble you, not harden you. Not harden you. Sit. Let it refine your mindset, not ruin your confidence. Imagine speaking directly to yourself after a failure, not with anger or excuses, but with honesty. You say, "This hurts, but I am still capable. This setback does not define me, but it will shape me if I let it." That inner dialogue is the voice of a winner. It is calm, focused, and forward-looking. It exists only because the ego has been quieted by experience. Failure breaks the ego because the ego cannot survive reality. But in that breakage, something far stronger is built. A mindset that values effort over image. A mindset that seeks growth over comfort. A mindset that understands that every loss carries a lesson and every setback hides a setup for something greater. Winners are not born with this mindset. They earn it through failure, reflection, and persistence. If you are facing failure right now, understand this deeply. You are not behind. You are being prepared. The discomfort you feel is not a sign to quit, but a signal that transformation is happening. Let the ego fall. Let the lesson rise. Keep moving forward, wiser than before, stronger than yesterday, and more focused than ever. This is how failure builds the mindset winners need, and this is how ordinary people become extraordinary. So if you walk away with nothing else, carry this with you. Failure is not a verdict on your life. It is an invitation to step into who you are becoming. The moment you stop running from it, the moment you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this shaping me into?" everything changes. You are not broken by your setbacks. You are being carved by them. Every disappointment has been quietly training you to think sharper, stand firmer, and move with intention instead of impulse. The pain you survived has already proven something important. You are stronger than the voice that tells you to quit. Right now, you have a choice, and it is a powerful one. You can let your past failures sit behind you like shadows that whisper doubt, or you can turn around, face them, and use them as fuel. Decide today that you will not waste your experiences. Decide that every loss will teach you, every mistake will refine you, and every rejection will push you to prepare harder. This is how purpose is built, not in comfort, but in courage, not in applause, but in persistence. Stand up tomorrow with a different mindset. Take one small action that aligns with the lessons you have learned. Apply what failure showed you. Improve one habit. Strengthen one skill. Make one bold move you were afraid to make before. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to move forward with intention. Progress begins the moment you stop waiting to feel ready. Remember this, the people you admire were once exactly where you are, uncertain, tested, and doubted. The difference is not that they avoided failure, it is that they allowed it to shape them instead of stopping them. And you are capable of doing the same. Your story is still unfolding. Your best chapter has not been written yet. Walk forward with confidence, not because you have never fallen, but because you know how to rise. Let failure remind you of your strength, your purpose, and your power. The mindset of a winner is already within you. Now is the time to claim it and act.